And we should be going live of any minute. I will check across the
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We should be live.
We're live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube. Cool. That's what I'm trying to bring up over here. And let me see if I can get the chat running. Yes, we are live over on YouTube. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show.
So what's going on, people?
Oh, nothing. Same old stuff, different day.
Yep, it's living the dream here.
Yep.
Had to run into the office yesterday to do some things. I want to be in here all day.
I needed to get some stuff done. I was going to do the show anyway if y'all were going to join me, but I had to get some stuff done myself. So it actually worked out really good that
I was going to be there 30 minutes max.
That didn't work out. It don't seem.
Not at all. There's applications and people's livelihoods piling up on our desks.
Right.
So I figured I was there. I might as well knock a few down the road. Let the next guy worry about them.
Yeah.
So.
My tape pulled off. I'm trying to get that to stick on there. I have to get some stronger tape. I've had that banner for I don't know how long. I had it made years ago when I was doing quite a bit of stuff. Like I used to do promotions at Rockler before they actually had me come in and do the scroll saw classes. And then I did the Makers. What is that thing that comes around every year? Makers Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the Makers Fair. So I had that banner when I was doing the Makers Fair. So yeah, I've had it for quite some time. And I decided the other day, I was like, well, why don't I just hang it up beside me? The only bad thing about it is you can't see all of it because of my big head.
We need to call in a head shrinker.
Yeah, head shrinker. Yeah, like on Beetlejuice. Yep. So, but yeah, I got some pretty good stuff that we'll talk about. I'll give it a few more minutes for people to get on board and join us.
Wake up, get their coffee.
Yeah. See that we're live. We were actually a few minutes late, which is actually my fault. And Brenda and I were talking and I didn't even pay attention to the time.
Oh, I don't think anybody's got us on a clock.
Now, if Russ's grandson was here, he'd have us on a clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like,
let's get to it, people. Get some work done.
What are you waiting for? Let's get going. Terry Marker says, morning to the group from Northeast Indiana. He's up there in your part of the woods.
Yep, he's about, well, I'm going to guess about an hour, maybe an hour and a half north of me. Hey, getting close to the Michigani border up there.
Oh, a Michigander, son.
James Seagraves has joined us. Good morning to you.
Yep. He's from Pennsylvania.
Bob
Lee's.
Yep. And it's Bob Lee's woodshop. Morning, Bob.
Yep. Good morning, Bob.
Pennsylvania over there with Poxitawney Phil.
Yeah. So you're the one we have to blame on this weather, huh?
Phil lied to us.
I tell you, up here, we're blaming all the bad stuff that's been happening in the past few months on our favorite pub shutting down after 132 years. We lost the bar. Then we lost Mookie Betts from the Red Sox. Then we lost Tom Brady. Now we get the pandemic. All since that bar closed.
You know, and I know the Trump president made a call out that he wanted to open the country back up, which I think is fine. But I just think it's too soon. I think it's too soon. I mean, Florida's already opened some beaches. And now here's the one thing I like to talk, you know, the news media is such bull crap. They lie out there. It's no longer they report the news. They make crap up that they want you and put it out there. That's what they do. And I'm not talking about one. I'm talking about all of them are guilty of it.
Yep.
And because they posted a picture about the beaches. They opened the beaches and they were already full and everything here in Florida. And they got caught because the picture they used was actually back before the beaches were closed. Yep.
It wouldn't be the first time they've done that.
No. And I'm like, really? I mean, now one news program, and I think it was Fox, said that this is not an actual picture. This was,
Right.
you know, before it was. But the rest of them posted it just like it was like everybody flocked to those beaches immediately as soon as they opened them. You know,
They had another picture that they floated of a guy coming out of Walmart or one of the big box stores, and you know, was talking about the social distancing and all that. And the picture was actually from one of the hurricanes.
Yeah.
I love when they trap themselves that way. They just...
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it you, Chris, that said the guy from CNN was standing in a ditch or something and doing the news, and right behind him a guy rode by on a bicycle?
Yeah. He was trying to prove how deep the water was from the overflow. I think it was Louisiana.
Yeah.
He's in a ditch up to his waist and basically a giant puddle. And behind him, a guy just rolling across the street and about half inch of water over his wheel. That's about it.
Yeah. That's why I say they lie.
I don't know that I'd want to get in a ditch down in Louisiana.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I would when I get in that a ditch with anywhere with that nasty water.
Gators ditches.
Years ago, before all the electronic media was the way it is now, watching ABC News, and some reporter out there is out in front of the White House trying to complain about the president and the areas not responding to the snowstorm we were in. If you looked at the weather, it wasn't snowing in DC. It was a beautiful spring night.
Yeah.
And she busted herself. They obviously green screened her in front of a beef footage they had of the White House.
That's what I said. They make up stories. And like I said, do I think this coronavirus is as bad as actually what the news media? No, I don't think it is. But I do know that it's out there and it's killing people. That's fairly obvious.
Well,
I already had two friends. Finally, they cured them, got them out of the hospital. Finally, they survived it, but it was touch and go for both of them.
The CDC even sent out a letter telling the hospitals that whatever they die of, put down corona.
Yes, and I believe that.
Because it's a money grab. They get like $17,000 for every death to buy equipment and stuff with. And I don't know. There was a whole laundry list.
I heard that, and I also heard it from somebody that is in the in a situation where they actually know what's going on, and they said that same thing, that the numbers are being skewed because if you come in with a cough and a fever, regardless, you're automatically, even before they test you, you're automatic logged as you've got coronavirus.
Yeah.
On that case, I got it. I've already got a cough, and I've had a sore throat. And
I cough every day.
Yeah, I do too.
And I clear my throat. That's my sinuses.
Yep, same thing.
Yep. And so it's like, you know, that one day though, I was really sick. I had been out in the yard for a couple of days working, and I got sick. That was on like a Monday, and I had just went and got groceries like 2 or 3 days before. My wife was running around every time I turned around, she was taking my temperature, rubbing my forehead. You don't have no fever. I know. It's a sinus infection, sweetheart. I know what it is.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. But
Ken McCrory's in the house. Good morning, Ken.
Ken McCrory. We are live over on Facebook and on Twitch. And so far, so good. I told Brenda before you got here, somehow the error in Restream, knock on wood, has corrected itself. And I am able to now see all three. Look at me. I'm over here moving this mouse for this computer.
I've done that.
Yeah. But it's corrected itself. And now it seems to be working where I can see all three chats at one time, which is fantastic. That's what I wanted, to be able to see all three rather than have to flip back and forth between all three platforms. I mainly stay on YouTube, but I do have quite a few people that, you know, will pop in from time to time over on Facebook. And so that's what I wanted to do. And then Twitch, we have Sydney from where is he from? Australia too? Anyway, he pops up over there.
I thought he lived in California.
It might be. I don't remember.
think
I
he's
guess
from
Sydney kind of
California.
is an Australian name, so I kind of thought he was from Australia.
He's a pirate.
He's a pirate.
Yep.
Arr.
So I'm going to do
All right. Get us up on the big screen.
Had a little chat with Sydney over on Facebook the other day, so
okay. He is from California.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't remember. I do remember his name because he actually sent me I think it was an email. Either sent me an email or a private message, one of the two, and asked me, oh no, it was an email. Yeah. And asked me, he goes, you know, I'm over on Twitch and you never acknowledge anybody over there on Twitch. And I'm like, well, I watched Twitch and I didn't see him. And I swear I didn't see him. And even Al, when we're on the Saturday night show, watches Twitch. And Al, I don't think Al has ever said anything about seeing him. But anyway, to make a long story short, I make sure that I check over there on Twitch. And with this, the bot running, it should correct itself, and I'll be able to see all three at one time. And that's what I wanted to do. So.
It's good when people tell us things like that when we're running live streams, because, you know, this is technology and it doesn't always work properly. And so it's good to know when there's an issue out there, because sometimes we don't see it.
Yeah. And I mean, and a person is a person, and I cherish everybody that watches me on all the platforms. And and if I hadn't responded, I'm sure he would have got discouraged and just quit watching. And I don't want that. So anytime that anybody's having problems, yeah, let me know. You know,
Ken says he's got to go, so be safe out there, Ken.
Yeah, be careful, be safe, keep your head low, your mask on, and wash your hands.
Did you see where Donald Matthews has a new workshop confession?
Yes. I saw that video. Like, I was even saying he's way too close to that blade, and boop.
Yeah.
He sharpened that saw so he could get his finger off.
Oh my God.
That was and I love how he redid it and showed the close up, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, you could see it coming. You're sitting there going, Donald, stop. And,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever done something quite that silly, but
Brenda said she didn't see this, and so I'm going to go over to my Facebook page so I can show this GIF that I posted this morning.
All right, time to take the morning meds. Here you go, Bill.
I done been there, done that this morning.
Well, now I started it by accident, so I need to wait till the stupid thing.
That's my muscle relaxer. Keeps the muscles from getting too tight.
Oh, well, you'll just be peachy by the end of the show.
I'll be Gumby. No, not working out. It's killing me because our muscles are tightening up. I can't go to the pool. I can't do anything. And this has always been the backup plan. I never wanted to do medication for tight muscles.
Usually when
no option.
Usually when I take my medication, it does strange things to me.
Yeah, we've seen that. Close up, personal.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. I got to make sure I take it after the show.
How many times did you invite Richard to be on the show that night?
7.
7?
Yeah. He said 10.
10.
Because I asked him, I said, I heard that I asked you quite a few times to be on the show. And he said, yeah, 10 times. Okay, so I'm sharing this so y'all can see this.
All right.
I think that's pretty cool.
Well, Al and I was keeping score, so.
Okay. But yeah, this is a little GIF that I found that I thought was actually humorous. Watch this guy. It looks like he's asleep. And
looks like he's at Lowe's.
Boom.
He got woke up.
Oh.
Gee, many Christmas. Is that cinder block?
It's cinder. It's all kinds of stuff. I mean, but yes, it looks like, I can't tell what it is, but it does look like it's at Lowe's because Lowe's have, well, I don't know if it's a Lowe's or a Lowe's warehouse.
Yeah.
but some kind of warehouse. Now I'm gonna let it play through once again. Watch, he gets pinned over here in this corner.
Yeah.
Because he can't run, left or right. So I don't know if he got hurt or not. But yeah, see, he's strolling along. I think he fell asleep, and boom, now he realizes, oh crap! But see, he runs over here,
and the guy behind him is not paying any attention.
Well, now he is. The guy behind him takes off running. But see what? You'll see him here in a few minutes pop out again at the very end. See?
Yeah.
But he's kind of like trapped up against there. So
he's saying, I might as well quit now.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to be his boss, him pinned back there in the corner? Good. I'm glad you're pinned back there. You'll be easier for me to get to.
Yeah. And fire you.
Well, what questions I have is, were the shelves that properly put together?
No, there is. I mean, I've been in some warehouses before with the fire department. We would have to go in and actually, go through them and look at what they had and everything. And no, they're very sturdy, but here's they have tons of weight on them. And you take out one support and it's over. Right. It's like a domino effect. That's what happened
in house construction, they call it the Jesus nail. You pull out the Jesus nail and everything falls apart.
Exactly. And so apparently he hit it just right and knocked out once. And that's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that on a few videos. He hit that support just right. And once it went, all that section came down, but because they're like linked together, it starts pulling other sections down. Yeah. I seen one that similar almost to that happened in a liquor store, and it took the whole aisle out.
Yeah.
It took the whole aisle out.
Morning allergies. Gotta love them.
Yes. Yeah, that's me too. Trust me. That's me.
Especially up here now. It's spring and everything is starting to bloom, and it's crazy.
Fortunately, I don't have allergies. I got enough other problems. I don't need allergies.
Sunday night was nice here. I got to sit outside, had an open fire going. One of my Irish band friends, he plays every Sunday night live from his Donegal basement, the Donegal Den, we've been calling it. He's raising funds for a local kids charity, cancer charity. And in 3 Sundays, we're up to $8,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome. He plays for 2.5, 3 hours, takes requests he does like we're doing. Takes requests, and the thing is just moving right along. It's going so well that when this is all over, he may continue doing it at least twice a month. Yeah. On the Sundays, he doesn't have a regular gig.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We have Annette Johnson, John Stawson, Gary Woods, Herb Lechenberg, and David Linden have all joined us over on Facebook. They're actually watching. They're not chatting. They're watching it.
It's 7 people on YouTube, but chat seems to have stopped since Ken left.
Yeah, I know. Everybody quit posting. Y'all still out there watching us? Because I'm fixing to
get back here. You were obviously the center.
Yeah. I'm fixing to share some stuff in the news. So yeah, we're kind of worried that
come on, people, you're not dreaming. We're live.
That we're all right, so let me go ahead and share this. This was pretty funny here. Okay. It's Oregon police remind residents to not call 911 if you run out of toilet paper.
Who would even think to do that?
Obviously, some people are. Can you imagine sitting on the crapper in a restaurant and you call 911? Hey, I'm down here at Arby's and ain't no toilet paper. Can one of your cops drop me off some? Yeah, it says coronavirus has not been kind to supplies of toilet paper. We know that. The shelves are all gone and everything. But they say, please, for goodness sake, don't panic if you run out. And Newport, Oregon, people are calling 911 to report that they need toilet paper and they're out of toilet paper. I'm like, okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Actually unbelievable that people could be that stupid to call 911. Oh, we have had more than that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Maple Tree Studios is in the house.
Yeah, he says, I just done a massive. I think someone stole it. Can you bring me a roll?
Well, we'll UPS it over to you.
Terry Marker says, I'm still here. Okay, good. Thank you. Well, we get kind of concerned when we don't see anybody out there in the chat say anything.
Yeah, Russell, I was thinking if this thing continues during the Whirligig Wars, you could give out rolls of toilet paper as a prize.
You know, that I didn't think about that. That wouldn't be give out. Yeah, get a big pack of toilet paper in.
Yeah.
Well, last summer, there was a YouTuber that had a giveaway on her channel, and I won. And she sent me this. It was a big box with a big basket in it, and it had all kinds of natural beauty supplies and things in it.
Huh.
And in there were 2 rolls of what they call it, like a recycled paper, toilet paper thing. And people, I did a video on it, and people laughed and laughed and laughed over that. And I've got those 2 rolls of toilet paper. They're wrapped real pretty, so I've got them sitting in my bathroom. And every time I see them, I laugh, because I think, people were laughing about me getting this toilet paper last summer. I bet now they're changing their tune.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah, because at one point that stuff was priceless. It was worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Right,
was the
here's
most
got another
important
one.
thing in the whole box.
Now, when I first seen this picture, I thought it was photoshopped, and it still may be. I don't doubt that there's a possibility, but I actually found out that this is a sturgeon fish. And if you look up sturgeon fish on Google, they do look like this.
Right.
Now, I'm not 100% sure that this hasn't somewhat been photoshopped, because the head of this one kind of looks like a gator head.
Yeah.
But they actually do have these spiny backs and these fins on. I mean, just Google it yourself, sturgeon fish, and look at all the pictures. And actually, that's a sturgeon. And it looks like a big sturgeon fish. But I think they're up in the Great Lakes. That's where they're located, up in like Lake Michigan and up there in that area. But yeah, a sturgeon fish. Isn't that weird? That almost looks like a dinosaur.
It does. Little fins off the side.
Yeah. And then, like I said, the spiny back and everything. And I was like, yeah, this is photoshopped. And then I was like, I found out that it's a sturgeon fish. So that was actually
one of them thinks that it's the Loch Ness monster or something.
Yeah. And you know what? They found out years ago that guy that did the Loch Ness was it was fake, that he actually did it, and he actually admitted to it. So
He's done wonders for the travel industry.
Okay, David with Portal Woodwork says that it's an alligator garfish.
No, actually, this is a sturgeon, because the person that took it was up in the Great Lakes, and they said in the area, and said that look what I saw the other day, or what they were out fishing, and they showed where they were at, but they did not post what it was. And then I looked at it and went like, that's photoshopped. And
James Seagrave says that they have them in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, see? Yeah, they have them in Pennsylvania. So yeah, that's a sturgeon fish. All right, let's see. I already did that one. It's this one. Okay. Chicago man charged with $11,500 for $90 worth of groceries. Yeah. He went in and got groceries, and it was $90 at the grocery store, and he did not realize it until he got home and actually checked his bank account, and he had a zero balance. And looked at his receipt, and he was charged $11,552.45.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a little bit of an error, and you wonder yourself, how in the hell could that happen? I mean, I got a story to tell you that's a true story, and in just a second. But he said he contacted the grocery store, and they told him that it would take 3 to 5 days or something, like to store manager told him it would take 4 to 5 days to reverse the transaction and leave him with a zero account balance. So he contacted the local TV station, and I guess they did a little thing on it, and he was immediately contacted by the corporate officials, and they said that they were sorry about that, and they would take care of it immediately. So yeah. $11,552.
And then at the bottom of that, it talks about a Houston family revealed last year that they were charged $1,600 for a Domino's pizza order that should have amounted to less than $20.
And that is what I am going to say is I had a friend of mine that went into a Burger King restaurant and bought a Whopper meal, and he didn't check his receipt. And like a Whopper meal's like, let's say, I'll just throw a number out there, $8.95. Well, whenever it charged to his bank account, it was like $8,950.
Wow.
Yeah. And and he found out later that day, like same thing with this. And I knew this guy for a fact that this happened, and he went to use his card later on that day to get gas, and it wouldn't work, and he couldn't figure out why. And come to find out that was the reason why. And it did take him a few days. And thank God, and that's why I do this too. He saved his receipt,
Yeah.
And so he saved his receipt and went into his bank, and they helped him correct it. It still took him a little bit to get it corrected, but I save my receipts for everything.
My credit card company is real good about notifying me immediately if there's anything that looks goofy on my credit card.
Yeah.
Ours is too. Matter of fact, we got caught on the West Coast. Amy was going to a conference, and I go along as the arm candy. And we went to check into this nice resort on the beach, and it wouldn't take our cards. Now we're on the West Coast, and our cards aren't working. We got a rental card, and that's all we've got with us. Luckily, we got a hold of the bank, and they cleared up what it was. They were worried about fraud. It was a large charge, and it's so out of our pattern on that account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they froze the account, but it was the end of the day, so there's no one to get a hold of. Luckily, there's an emergency number though.
Yeah,
we get it squared away.
My bank will freeze my account until they hear from me, and then we go from there.
Right. I'm glad we have it, because had someone stolen the card, we would have been gone. Nothing we could do about it.
Yes.
James E. Graves says that the largest sturgeon on record was 24 feet and 1,827 pounds.
Wow, that's a big sturgeon. Wow.
And then Terry Marker says one guy a few years ago caught a big one on Lake Wawasee in Indiana using a pinfish rod and light line. Fought it for over an hour to land it.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I said. After I started looking into it, because I thought it was a Photoshop thing. I was like, somebody's trying to pull somebody's leg. But after I looked into it, I started discovering, wow, and they do grow big. I didn't see that where the record was 24 foot, 1,827 pounds. Wow.
Wanting to go fishing, if they ever lift the ban here and things kind of clear up, I've been going through my fishing gear and, getting my reels all spooled up and everything, getting everything ready to go. But Lord have mercy, if they got stuff out there like that, I don't know. Don't want to go now. It'll pull me in.
Buster and Noreen Stott have joined us. Thank you. He says,
good morning.
Hi, all. Good morning. And we are monitoring the chat over on Facebook. I just put that in there and it popped up. So we know that I know the chat's working over on Facebook if you're over there and would like to say something. And also we're monitoring Twitch. And
we are live. This is not a dream.
Yep. I'm going to post in. We are.
I see. I'm not a fishing guy. The only good thing about it is you can drink while doing it, but
I'm not a catch and release girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't believe in that. If you're going to catch it, eat it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
no,
I'm obviously if it's a little baby one, you want to throw that back.
I was born and raised, fishing and hunting, and we were I was born on a farm, but I really don't enjoy hunting that much. I don't know. There's something about shooting a deer that just don't appeal to me. I mean, we have cows and stuff. We don't need to shoot deer, and especially now they're kind of like not as plentiful as they were years ago.
Right.
So, but I love to fish. And matter of fact, that I have a 22-foot deep V center console fishing boat, and it's only 22 foot long. So that actually sturgeon fish is longer than my boat.
Wow.
A little thing, we were out fishing up in Homosassa, out off of Homosassa. And I was up looking. I was up in the front of the boat, and which is high, and I was looking, and all of a sudden I seen this gray thing start approaching us, and I called Cameron and Corey. My sons were with me, and I hollered at them because they of all the boys, they enjoy fishing the most. They still do it today. But anyway, I hollered at them, and there was a shark, and that shark was damn near as big as as long as my boat, and he came up. And I mean, his fin was out of the water. He came up and did a whole 360 degrees around the boat, like he was just looking to see what we were doing, and then just slowly went away. And we were all sitting there going like, oh, crap.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
Yep.
James Seagrave says the beluga caviar is from beluga sturgeon.
Okay.
Ooh.
Did not know that. All right, let's go back. Let me see what I've got over here. There's that. Oh yeah, this guy's back in the news. I don't know if y'all know who he is, but I certainly do. Missouri sues televangelist Jim Baker for selling fake coronavirus cure. Now, years ago, Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker had a mega church, so to speak. They actually opened up their own resort where you could buy homes and their resort. And I mean, it was just like a big, well, anyway, they got caught doing some shady shenanigans. Okay. I don't know if Tammy Faye ever made it to prison, but I know that Jim Baker ended up going to prison for a few years and over the shenanigans that they were pulling. I don't remember all the details as what they were doing, but they were either
my understanding is that he went to prison and he sacrificed himself to keep her out.
Keep her out, yes.
Like
and she ended up divorcing his butt anyway while he was in prison. So
Yeah.
That's pretty crappy. But anyway, but now he is going around and he held up a blue and silver bottle, gazing intently at the label as he questioned a woman sitting next to him. This influence is now circling the globe. Baker said on February 12th broadcast, the Jim Baker Show, you're saying that this silver solution would be effective. And his guest said the so-called natural health expert, I won't pronounce her name because I can't do it right, Selman or whatever, falsely implied that the liquid would likely be effective. The coronavirus is affecting more than 120 miles, says it knows the treatment for cure. Anyway, he basically made it sound like that was a cure for the coronavirus. And so now the actual state of Missouri is suing him for false advertisement. So
yeah, further down in the article, it says that he was caught in a sex scandal, and then he stepped down from the PTL club after the sex scandal, and later spent several years in prison after a jury found that he had defrauded viewers out of millions of dollars.
There it is. Yes, that's what it was. Yes, I remember that now because it was actually Jimmy Swaggart who found out about him and his little prostitute and let it be known. And that's what took him down. And then wasn't it kind of funny that after that happened, Jimmy Swaggart was found out to be with a prostitute.
Yep.
Well, he knew where to look for a reason.
Yeah, don't throw stones if you live in glass houses.
Pots and kettles.
Yeah, I never get these big.
And I really like Jimmy Swaggart. And let me tell you, and even this goes out to preachers too. Everybody's only human. People can make mistakes. I mean, they really can. But the funny part about that whole thing is he tells on him and he's doing the same thing and he ends up getting caught. That's what's so funny about it and ironic.
Then they come on TV crying about how sorry they are.
Yep. And asking for forgiveness and everything. And like I said, they're only human. They're no better than any of us. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like we all do. So, they make mistakes too. Big mistakes, obviously that was. But he was actually, and he's doing very well for himself. Jimmy Swaggart is. He didn't end up going to prison.
Yeah.
But he was an Assembly of God. In the Assembly of God, they actually booted him out of the Assembly of God. He opened up his own church, so to speak. It's called the Family Worship Center, and he's actually bigger than he ever was. So he continued right on. Like I said, I like Jim Baker. I always thought he was a fraud. I mean, from the day I saw him and Tammy Faye, I mean, yeah.
Quite honestly, I think they're all a fraud.
Well, yes. Some of them are, I do believe that, but others are no.
They beg for donations so they can live in a multi-million-dollar mansion. And they say, but we're helping the poor. No, you're not.
I assure all these mega churches that are going, they're the pastors of those churches drive Mercedes Benz, and
well, Jim had to do what he did just to be able to buy Tammy's makeup.
Yeah, exactly. It was probably a crew of 20 that worked on that every morning.
Oh, yes.
I think they delivered her makeup on a semi truck every day, didn't they?
Yeah, and you do remember that. Oh, that's funny as crap. You do remember that,
some scaffolding around her and get up there with the trowels.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a trial, to put that stuff on. Trust me. All right, so let's get off of that. And this is a scientific one here.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't get the whole article; it was too big. But anyway, it's talking about these salamander lizards. Now, a lizard is unique in the fact that if you cut his tail off, he can actually regrow his tail. Mm-hmm. But even these salamanders, even more unique than that. If they lose an arm, they can actually regrow an arm back on top of it. So scientists have actually been studying them, trying to figure out how they're doing that so that they can replicate that. So someday they hope that if your arm gets cut off, rather than reattaching it, you just regrow another arm. So wouldn't that be like awesome? And I could think of a lot of things that would be beneficial on, but they actually, they actually regenerate their own bones. And they say that they're actually, salamanders are actually more closer, or in the how do you want to say it, related to humans than they ever thought before. But yeah, it says as of now we are far from creating treatments to help humans grow back their own limbs. We're a little bit closer to understand how people heal, and this research could possibly help people heal damaged tissue like cartilage and muscles. Now, there is a organ on the body that does reheal itself, and that is your skin. You know, if you cut yourself or get a burn or whatever, it'll actually develop more skin. Burns are a little unique in the way that they do because it doesn't actually grow as good as it should, but your skin does actually reproduce itself. But it'd be nice to have another heart or a lung or an arm or a leg, you know. Mm-hmm. So that'd be pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty cool scientific fact that they're studying those salamanders. Let's see. Oh, and this is a good one. This is an actual good one. On Tuesday, Jenna Evans was on a high-speed train that was racing down the tracks, her fiance by her side, when some bad guys appeared. She said the only way to protect her 2.4 carat diamond engagement ring was to swallow it. So that's what she did. She said, I popped that sucker off, put it in my mouth, and swallowed it with a glass of water. Then she woke up. Evans was relieved on Wednesday morning that her whole episode was just been a vivid and bizarre dream. As she told Today, it was very James Bond-like. That is until she realized her engagement was no longer on her finger. So her original was a dream of her doing it. Also, she has a series of sleepwalking, and soon realized that while the bad guys on the high-speed train had all been while she was snoozing and subconscious, her consumption of her engagement ring was not. She actually pulled the engagement ring off of her finger in her dreams and swallowed it.
Oops.
And there's the x-ray. It shows the x-ray there of the engagement ring in her inside.
Well, I'm sure it'll all come out in the end.
Yeah.
It said on Facebook she Googled if adults often swallowed rings. It turns out children had more commonly do it. And
Well, I would
yeah.
hope it'd be more children. So.
Yeah.
You're an adult and you're still doing that.
Imagine that.
That's a vivid dream.
Yeah, that's a vivid dream. My wife says I have some pretty vivid dreams sometimes. And she says in my dream, she almost has to like nudge me just to stop me because she's afraid I'm going to knock the heck out of her because I'll get in fights or I'll be cussing somebody out, or get in an argument with somebody. And she actually is worried that I'm going to swing at her. So, yeah, she says, oh, yeah, you talk in your sleep. And I said, really? Yeah, you were telling somebody off last night. I don't know who it was. But, yeah, I got a little tale for you. My grandson here, the 2-year-old twin, Mason, he swallowed some money a while back. And my daughter was calling me and she goes, she was worried and upset about it. And she goes, I said, are you sure he swallowed it? And I said, sometimes when kids will say something, they swallow something. She goes, we're not 100% sure, but Clay said, and that's for her, my son-in-law, Clay said that he had some money and he, they weren't paying attention, but he turned around and looked and he noticed that I think it was pennies. Anyway, he looked at Mason and said, where's the penny? He goes, I ate it.
Oops.
So she says, what do I do? I said, well, check back in a few days and I'll call you and see if there's any change yet.
Yep.
That's a joke. The kid swallowed a quarter and the doctor called the wife and said, any change yet? Or the mother and said, any change yet? Anyway, she was all worried. And I told her, I said, don't worry. If it was something like a pointed object, like a jack or something like that, I would be worried and I would immediately take him to the doctor. Because pointed objects like that can, they can damage the intestines. As
right.
Money being round and usually like a penny or something, usually will pass right through without too much of a problem. Yeah, and I told her,
he swallows a quarter and 2 dimes and a nickel come out.
There's a problem somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I checked back with her and she said they never did see anything and he's been healthy. And I don't think he swallowed it. I really don't.
No.
I think he swallowed it. But yeah, usually money will go right through without any problem. And if he starts showing any signs, like if he's, there's certain signs you can look for, and I won't tell them all because some of them are kind of gross. But if he starts showing some signs, for instance, in other words, if he quits eating, he don't want to eat, that's a sign. All right, we need to go to the doctor, especially if and that kid eats. Trust me, he eats. So, but yeah.
Did you see the one that was on Facebook the other day? I don't think I shared it, but I saw it on Facebook where some lady had microwaved her money because of the coronavirus. She had, it was like $2,000 in $100 bills she put in the microwave, and it burnt the hell out of them. You could still tell that these $100 bills, but what she did is she took them to the bank and dropped them in the night drop and said, I don't know if you can use this or not, but if you can salvage any of this, please credit it to my bank account.
And yes, they will do that if they can prove that it's actually money or whatever. Like if you actually tear a dollar bill gets washed or whatever, and you take it to the bank, and they can prove, they can see yes, it's a real dollar bill. They will give you a dollar bill. They'll just turn it into the federal or the government or whatever as damaged money.
Yeah, and it gets reissued. That's where the star notes come from.
Right.
Star notes are reissued.
Yeah. James T. Graves says, thanks for the entertainment. Stay safe, everyone. I have to go do some woodworking. Good. And go make some sawdust, dude. Good. And I'm very glad you came and watched us this morning, but come back.
You making a whirligig, James?
Yeah. And that's what I forgot to talk about. And he's already gone. Is the Whirligig Wars. Yeah, let's not forget the Whirligig Wars. The Whirligig Wars is back. And let me go ahead and I'll do this just real quick because we got another 10 minutes actually before we have to or I need to get out of here. But Whirligig Wars, it's back and it's going to run from May 1st through May 31st. And you can also go ahead and start making one if you want. I mean, I don't care. I just don't want to see any emails or anything until after May 1st. But in order to find out about Whirligig Wars, you go to my website, come across over here to challenges, drop down to Whirligig Wars, and over to the 2020 Whirligig Wars. And so here it is, Whirligig Wars 2020, May 1st through May 31st.
Oh, I was just gonna...
And here is the video I did the other day, the announcement video. If you click on this, and I'm going to tell it to open it into a new link to make sure it does, it will go over here to YouTube and about the announcement. And then all the rules and everything you need to know are right here on how to enter and what you need to do, the judging and the prizes. Here's what a Whirligig is. Here is a live video that I did on making the hub and blades. And I was also supposed to do another video on making a Whirligig on a scroll saw, but that didn't happen. So, and then here's our sponsors. And then, like I said on the video the other day about it, these are not the sponsors that are going to be here this year. They possibly could be. I am contacting sponsors right now to get prizes for the Whirligig Awards. And I am most assure you that most of these sponsors will come back, and I should have a few new ones this year because we did really good last year with how many people showed up and how many entries we had. So, but Fast Cap, myself, Steve Good, he donated a $100 Visa gift card last year to one of the winners. So that's a chunky prize right there. Fast Cap donated 16-foot carpenter tape, pro carpenter tape, and a 6-ounce high bot. They did 2 of those. And then Steve Garrison from Spirals by Steve donated one of his pattern books, or a pattern. And then Bearwood Supply did a $25 gift card. So these all came in last year, and I'm sure that most of these people will respond back again this year, and I'll probably get some more because we had such a good turnout last year. But there's Whirligig is basically you just make a Whirligig, and I might do another little segment tomorrow and pull a few videos off of the old from last year and show some of those Whirligigs that were actually made from last year. James Seagrave says he did catch it, and he goes, "That's actually funny. I have to build a windmill." Well, if you can build a fan for a windmill, the blades for a windmill, you can flat out build one for a Whirligig. So just build a windmill and a Whirligig at the same time, James. And here's the thing, James, if you're listening to this still, you have the whole, actually you have like 39 days, because there's 9 days left in May, and you have 31 days in May. So you have 39 days to make this. So it's not like you have to make it overnight. So, but that's the Whirligig Wars, and we had some.
But you make it and you do a video on it and post the video and let Russ know what the URL is. All the directions are there on that website. Tells you exactly how to do it.
Yep, it rules on how to enter, and I'm not going to go through them all because they're right here. You can read them, and I might go through them later on during the week on one of our morning shows and talk about it. And I'm sure that Saturday night we'll go through more of it. But yes, basically you make a video. I want to, and a lot of people keep on asking me, yeah, I want to video the whole thing, process of me building it and put it on my YouTube channel. That's fine. I don't mind. No problem. But what I would like for you to do is the first 2 minutes of that video, I want to see your Whirligig, and I want to see it in motion, and I want to see it in the wind. And like I mentioned the other day, if the wind is not cooperating, and some people, like in the last few years, it didn't cooperate, and you can use a fan. But I do want to see the blades turning, and I want to see the motion of the Whirligig in the first 2 minutes of that video. The other 9, 10, whatever amount of stuff that you want to put on there of you making it is fine. Do that. But the first 2 minutes is mine to see that thing moving, because I don't want to have to go through the whole video to try to find where it's at and if it's moving or not. I want to be able to click on it, watch it, and boom, there it is. And
it's always,
Brenda,
it's always the way though that when you want to film it working, that's the day there's no wind.
Yes.
Never.
I had several people even last year that had used a fan to make it work. So, Yeah. And Brenda came up with a very good idea, and that's the first time that I've ever heard of that. And she said something about using the blades off of repurposing some stuff and using the blades off of a fan.
Yeah.
And yes, that would qualify because you're making the whirligig, even though you're not cutting the blades out, which I never said you had to do that. You're still putting stuff together to make a whirligig. So
yeah,
very good, Brenda.
I'm the queen of repurposing. I hate to throw anything out.
Yeah.
So I'll save stuff until I find a time that, okay, I can use that. That's
Yes.
how I did my sticker board. I still have to edit that video, but it used to be a ceiling light fixture in a kitchen. And I turned it into my sticker board.
Great. But yeah, that was a very good, James Sturgis or Seagrave says, I just might. In other words, he might. And Donna Presley says, morning, all. Good morning, Donna. We appreciate you being out there and watching also. But yeah, that's a great idea. I never even thought of that myself about using the fan blades. And I'm thinking about how many fans I threw away over the years.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you one thing that I did do one year. I made a windmill for my front yard. It's long since gone. But what made me think of it is I took the old motor of a ceiling fan and I stripped it down where it was just the fan blades and it was a 5-bladed ceiling fan. I stripped it down where it was just the bearings and the housing and built a windmill and used that and painted it. And it looked cool as crap. And it worked perfect. When the wind would blow, it would just go around and around and around. But this windmill was big. You have to realize it's big because when you're talking about a 5-bladed ceiling fan, they probably got a 3 or 4 foot span. The ceiling or the windmill was actually probably about 6 or 7 foot tall to make it with that. So, but yeah, but good idea. So I hope you do enter, James. I'd love to see it. So, and I hope we have quite a few. And that's another thing I want to point out. The more people we have enter, the better off it is. And the reason being is because sponsors want to be noticed as far as for, if they're giving away a prize. So if you get 20 or 30 people entering into that contest, that's a lot of people. And so the more people we get, the bigger prizes I can get and the more sponsors I can get. So, and it's growing.
Jim Dockrell's in the house. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, and it's growing. It is actually growing. I noticed I've got more sponsors, and I've noticed that, and I'm going to reach out to more this year. But and I hate to say this, but sometimes I don't go out after as many sponsors as I actually could, and the reason being is because it's kind of humiliating from me. Let's say that I go out there and I get 10 sponsors with 10 nice prizes and we only have 7 entries. I have to actually tell those sponsors either I'll use it for something else on my show as a giveaway, or we didn't have enough entries to use your sponsor or use your prize. And I can pretty well guarantee if I have to tell a sponsor that, they probably won't come back next year. So, so it's like, therefore, sometimes when you only see like last year, Whirligig Wars, and actually we had quite a number of Whirligigs entered this year or last year, and I'm hoping that's what we'll have this year. But I didn't go after as many sponsors as I could have because of that fact. I don't want to have to tell them I couldn't use your prize, or can I give it away on my show? So,
no, I did road races. My wife and I were a director of one, and one year the Harpoon Brewery gave us either 6 or 8 kegs of beer for the post-race party. Well, we had a snowstorm the night before the race, so our numbers were very, very low on race day. Luckily, people already pre-registered. We had the money already. But I hate having to bring beer back to the brewery.
Right.
Because next year they will only give you, how many did you bring back? 2? We'll give you 2 less next year.
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm going to have big numbers next year, so you can't do that. So it broke our hearts, so we had to dump a keg of beer down the gutter.
I'll bet.
Broke my heart.
I'll bet. But yes, and that's and that's the situation. I don't want to go out there and get a whole bunch of sponsors and prizes and then have to tell them. Yeah. And actually, I don't know if y'all noticed this more, but here's one of my sponsors, and I'm wearing their hat today, by the way. Klingspor. Yep, Klingspor. So I've been wearing their hat. I got a few hats from sponsors. Some of them aren't sponsors, but from tool manufacturers. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'll be wearing one that I'd love to have one. If they want to send me one, I'll take it. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's the situation. I'd love for y'all to be out there and enter, and everybody that's working. Donna Presley has entered. She has entered the Whirligig Wars. I don't think Jam Dockrell has, but I know Donna Presley has built one year. She built like a Bluebird, I believe it was, and entered a beautiful, beautiful Whirligig. So, but I appreciate everybody watching this morning. Yeah, we've got like 10 people watching on YouTube. Oh, that's not the watch party. The watch party's over here. And we have Leo Steger says, good morning, Leo. We're on Facebook. He's in the watch party. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people over on Facebook watching. So
Paul's Messy Workshop is in the house.
Oh, Paul.
Oh,
Hi, Paul. You come in at the last minute because we're fixing to get off here because I got things I got to get done today. And it's like, I think this computer time over here is a little bit off because it's saying it's 6:53 in the morning.
feels like it.
Yeah, I don't think it's 6:53. It's actually 10 o'clock time for us to get off here. So I appreciate everybody being out there. Thank you very much for watching us. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, as far as I know. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. So thank you very much. Just remember, keep your head low, keep your mask on, wash your nasty hands, and
take your vitamin C.
Take your vitamin C. We will see y'all tomorrow. God bless. Have a good day.
Right. Stay
Bye,
home,
y'all.
stay safe.